Thank you everyone for coming. I'm Massimo, I'm the CEO of Adespresso. We are batch 7, 500 startup company. We do Facebook advertising optimization for startups, small, medium agencies, e-commerce guy. Overall, anyway, that's anyone who spends more than 2-3K in Facebook advertising per month. And we help you optimize the Facebook advertising by split testing, allocating your budget, finding the best way to spend your money, basically. We save you time and money. Last month, we managed $6 million in Facebook advertising, so we see lots of ads going through the platform. Some of them are really good, some of them are really ugly, horrible. Today, hopefully, I'm going to give you some tips on how to advertise your business on Facebook advertising, what are the best ways to do that. And the most common error that I see with Facebook advertising is trying to apply the same tactics that works on Google to Facebook. Facebook is a huge opportunity. It's getting bigger than YouTube. I think last month in terms of video views, they were bigger than YouTube, actually. So it's a huge opportunity, but you have to keep in mind that it's very different from Google. People go on Google to make decisions. They go on Google because they are searching for a new car, for a new insurance, for a new MacBook, whatever you want. But people go there with an intent to buy something. On the other, so Google is very good for selling something. You search something, you get an ad, and you buy. On the other side, people don't go on Facebook to buy something. They go on Facebook to engage, to meet up with their friends, etc. So it's very different the way that you have to advertise. It's a bit tougher because it could be a longer process. You need to first engage with them and then sell them something. But on the other side, it's also a much bigger opportunity. Now, think about this. Let's assume that you have invented a revolutionary shaving razor. Now, you could advertise this on Google, and probably you would have a crazy good conversion rate. But on the other side, how many of the guys in the room have searched for shaving razors on Google in the last couple of years? I guess no one. I mean, at least I never searched for a shaving razor online. On the other side, if you advertise on Facebook, you can reach every male older than 15 years old and let them know about your revolutionary product. So maybe you won't have a conversion rate as good as Google, but on the other side, the audience that you can reach is basically limitless. So the most important thing is that when you advertise on Facebook, you remember, people don't go on Facebook to make decisions. Actually, people go on Facebook to avoid making decisions. You go on Facebook to check on your friends, see the latest news, interesting article, crap on Mashable, and of course, lots of kitten pictures. So let's get started and let's see some tips on the design of the ad. The design is the most important element probably of your advertising because it's the one that will convince your users to engage with you, is the element that will convince them to at least take a look at what you are saying in their newsfeed. And the first tip, the one that we found the most useful, is to create buyer persona. So when we started advertising, we were doing the usual generic ad. Hey, are you doing Facebook advertising? Then you should try Adespresso. Facebook ads optimizations made simple, for example. That did work, but it was too generic. It was not solving a specific problem of anyone. Then we started talking with our customers. We understood that we had different verticals, like, for example, startups, media agencies, etc. And we created specific ads addressing their specific problems. For example, boost your startup's growth with Facebook advertising optimization. That's directly for you because you are a startup. All you need to do is grow for the demo day, for example, and that's address a specific pain point that you are experiencing. On the other side, agencies, what they care about is optimizing the process, so saving time, having their account spend less time managing their Facebook advertising. And again, we have a specific ad for them. Save time and money managing your customers' Facebook ads. We know who are you, we know what's your problem, and we have a perfect solution for this specific problem. The next point is addressing fear. Fear is the strongest emotion when it comes to the purchase decision process. People don't buy products because of fear, because they fear of making the wrong choice, because they fear that your software is not stable enough and you will screw their HR, whatever you are doing, and so on. There is an old example when the first machine to make bread that was released on the market, no one was actually buying it because people were not sure if it was the right decision. They feared of making a wrong purchase. And you know how they solved the problem, how they made that a huge seller in every market. They released another machine for making bread, but they made this one ugly, bigger, and more expensive. And when the people saw the two machine, that reduced fear because, okay, this is clearly the best choice. The other one, it's ugly, is more expensive. So the best way to address fear in Facebook advertising is using social proof, is letting the user know that they are not alone. They are not the first tester of your software, but they fall in the standard. They are doing what everyone else is doing. So for example, here we have the Dublin Web Summit. 7,000 attendees are joining for the Dublin Web Summit. And we are also using Robert Scoble, very well-known blogger inside the shower, as a testimonial. So this is very strong. And HubSpot is doing the same thing. 6,000 businesses are already using HubSpot. What are you waiting for? Everyone is getting the most out of the software. Your competitors are using it. So social proof is very important. If I had to pick a way to improve these ads, I will use a precise number. Because when I see someone telling me more than 5,000 users are using this, more than 10,000 people subscribe to our newsletter, that perfect rounded number looks like something that you made up while you were writing your ad. You were writing your Facebook ad and you were like, okay, what is better? 5,000? Maybe they will subscribe if I write 20,000. But it looks fake. On the other side, if you write in your ads, 7,238 people are already using HubSpot, that number looks like a number that you just search in your database. It makes you more credible, more trustworthy. And the second part is adding a call to action. Call to actions won't improve your Facebook ad, probably, but they will improve the conversion rate of your landing page. Because you are already telling the user, you're already talking with their brain and telling them, hey, after you click this ad, you should search for a button that say, join the webinar, download the ebook. So tell your user what you want them to do next. Consistency. My God, this one is one I really hate, and everyone is doing this error. If I click on your ad, I'm telling something. I'm telling you that I'm interested in what you were advertising. Get off the way. Don't make me waste time. I already clicked. I already told you that I was interested. Don't make things more complex for me. You see ad like, buy red sport shoes, 30% discount if you buy today. Great. I click on the ad and I end up on the home page of a website. Or I end up on a generic category pages where I have 100 different shoes. Most of them are not red. There is no reminder that the 30% discount is actual. And what is more likely to happen is that I'm just going to close the browser, get back to Facebook to check Kitten's picture. So when someone is clicking on your ad, be consistent. On the next page, try to immediately close the action they want to perform. Whatever it is, download the ebook, sign up for a trial, buy the product, reinforce what you wrote in the ad. If you want, add some more information, but be totally consistent. And this links very well with a buyer persona. If you had an ad for agency, make a landing page specifically for agency. Hey, at Adespresso, we had a background of agency. We worked in an agency. We wrote this software for you. We know what are your problems. But we will look pretty stupid if you click on an ad talking about agencies and then you click on it and you see, hey, boost your startup's growth with Adespresso. So be as consistent as possible. And last design tip is try to create contrast. There are so many ads in the newsfeed, it's very tough to attract the user attention, especially on the right column. And these guys are affiliate marketers, so they are a bit spammy. They don't care that much about branding. So they're adding this red border and yellow border around the picture, which I don't really like. but it makes the point. I'm damn sure that people are going to notice the ad with the red border. Another way to create contrast to attract the user attention is emptiness. If you have a lot of white space and then you only have one small element, one call to action, that's going to attract the user attention in that specific point. Just look at this picture, how all this white focus your attention on the face of a girl. Another tactic that works pretty well right now is adding Instagram-like filters to your pictures. That makes it look more organic. It looks like something that one of your friends just posted on Facebook. And the user is going to check it. Then if you also have a very good copy, they're probably going to click on your ad. Finally, address the elephant. So this is a psychological theory, and basically it says that when it comes to making decisions, human beings are like a very small driver on top of a huge elephant. The small driver is our rational selves, and is the driver we think that is in control, that is the one setting the direction. On the other side, the huge elephant is our emotional side, and it doesn't care about features, it doesn't care about price point, etc. All it cares about is emotions. And if the driver and the elephants wants to go in different direction, I think you can easily guess in which direction they will go. So when you create an ad, try to address both the rational part and the emotional part. As an example, we want to sell an espresso. The text is the place where we could address the rational part. Hey, we have this amazing feature, it is as cheap as a coffee every day, so we can talk about feature. In the picture, it's better to be emotional, so we could address the emotions. And I don't know, we could show a picture of someone that clearly is working in an agency, and he is relaxing in the coffee space because he has so much free time thanks to Adespresso. But try to address both emotions and features. Talk about the benefits of your products, not the feature. No one wakes up in the morning and says, oh, today I really want to buy a Facebook ad manager. Looks like something I really want to do this morning. They are buying the benefits. They are buying the money that they are going to save with their Facebook advertising. They are buying the time that they will be saving, not the ads manager. In terms of placement, this is pretty simple. You see it every day. So you can place the ads on the newsfeed on desktop. So when you are on your computer, you are browsing Facebook. This is probably the most generic ad unit. It works pretty well for everything. So it may not be stellar in terms of performances, but it always works. The right column, it's a mixed bag. So it's not very visible. Usually you will have a pretty low click-through rate, like 0.003%. But on the other side, it's very cheap. So the visual here is very important. If you can make a picture that attracts the user attention even on the right column, you could get clicks, sales, whatever, at a much cheaper price than on the newsfeed. And a great example of using the right column is usually with retargeting. If you are targeting people that already got in touch with your brands, that already knows you, it's much easier that they are going to be attracted by your brand on the right column because they recognize it. Finally, we have mobile. Mobile right now is huge. 73% of Facebook earnings were coming from mobile advertising last quarter. So most of Facebook users are on mobile. This can be a huge opportunity, but also a huge risk. If you have a mobile app, Facebook newsfeed on mobile is just great. If you are trying to do lead generation, if you are asking your user to fill out a very long form to download an ebook, for example, it's very unlikely that when I am, I don't know, on the public transportation, just browsing Facebook, I'm going to fill out a very long form. So what I usually suggest is do split testing. Try how every placement performs and stick with the one that works better. But remember, mobile is a huge opportunity. So if the conversion rate is not good enough, if the price is not good enough, be creative and find a way to make it work, because you are going to reach much more people on mobile. You are going to be able to scale your campaign more. For example, last week I think I saw an ad which was pretty smart. They were asking me to download an ebook. They had a pretty long form to fill out. They recognized that I was on mobile. So when I ended up on the landing page, I saw the benefit of their ebook, etc. And then they just told me, hey, we know that you are on mobile. why don't you just leave us your Twitter handle? And we are going to send you a direct message. We are going to tweet you the URL of the landing page so that when you get back home, you will remember that you saw this interesting stuff and you will download it from your computer. This is a pretty smart way to address lead generation or sales on mobile. Targeting. So when it comes to targeting, Facebook really offers you a plethora of options. You have geographic options, you have interest targeting, you have custom audiences. If you are advertising in the United States, you have advanced demographics. You can target people by their income, by their home ownership, for example, etc. So you have this huge amount of options. I cannot cover all of them. The country overall is the one that makes the biggest difference, just because they are different economies. If I advertise in Brazil, for example, I can usually get one of our ebook downloaded for less than 50 cents. In the United States, it cost me $1.5, for example, to get an ebook downloaded. The biggest advice is don't listen to people that tell you, hey, you should advertise in Nepal because you are going to get clicks for 2 cents. Sure, you are going to get clicks for 2 cents, but the overall goal is to acquire customers, to do business, not to get clicks at the cheapest price. So always monitor your return on investment. Just because the clicks, the cost per conversion is cheaper, it doesn't mean that they are going to convert, they are going to buy the same kind of products. Whenever possible, not only track the conversions, but also track the revenue that you are generating from those conversions. The ROI is what you really care about when you are advertising. Custom audiences, we are going to talk more about them in a minute. And finally, interest targeting is the most common way to start advertising on Facebook. You can target me because I like 500 startups, for example. You can target someone because they like one of your competitors. But the big problem is how to come up with new interests to target. When I start, it's pretty simple. I will target my competitors. I will target top blog in my industry, and that's great. But after a while, I will saturate that audience, and I need to come up with new interests to target, to scale my budget, to grow even more my Facebook advertising. The answer usually is just use Facebook search. There are more complex ways, but this is a very good entry level. You can do any kind of crazy searches on Facebook. Look at this, pages liked by marketers who like Adespresso. I'm asking Facebook, hey, only consider people that works in marketing and that likes Adespresso. What other pages do they like? Social media today, Facebook for Business, Smart Company, Fast Company, Business Insiders. These are all great tips. You can also make these a bit more complex. Pages liked by people who like Adespresso and John Loomer Digital. He is a very well-known blogger in the Facebook advertising space. So I'm refining even further the interest. And you can also be very broad. Favorite interest of people who like Squalaroo. I'm not asking here to Facebook pages like, but I'm asking for generic interest, so very broad argument that people likes. And I'm using Squalaroo here in the example to show you that you can do this for any Facebook pages. It doesn't need to be your own Facebook page. Finally, just to give you the final example of how crazy this can be. Groups of men under my age and more than 25 years old who live in the United States and likes Adespresso. So with a Facebook graph search, you can really perform any kind of search, and you can get a lot of interest suggestions for your next advertising campaigns. Okay, let's talk about custom audiences. Custom audiences right now are probably the best way to advertise, and they make Facebook advertising extremely efficient also for B2B company. B2B company like Adespresso and many others here, I guess, are always a bit tougher to sell on Facebook because I'm watching kittens. If you tell me, hey, we are selling candies, huge discount, that's probably something that I'm going to click immediately. But if I'm looking at, my nephew pictures, probably I'm not in the mindset to buy an HR software to manage benefits of my company. With custom audiences, you can do a totally different targeting. Instead of thinking, okay, I want to target people in the United States, 13 to 40 years old who are interested in Facebook advertising, you can provide Facebook the data of who you want to target. For example, let's say you have a huge newsletter. You can send to Facebook all the emails in that newsletter, and you can tell Facebook, hey, for my next campaign, I don't care where they live, how old they are. I only want to target my newsletter subscribers. And once you have created your first custom audience, you can ask Facebook, hey, I would like a lookalike audience. Hey, these are my 20,000 newsletter subscribers. What I would like you to do is analyze them, find the common patterns, try to understand who they are, and give me another audience that I can target with Facebook advertising, but that contains 2 million users, 1 million users that are very similar to my customers. So this is an algorithmic optimization. We are asking Facebook to find similarities from our customers, our newsletter subscribers, with other users. It's very effective to expand your campaigns. It can have some downsides. The first one is that you need data to generate a lookalike audience. If you only have 20 newsletter subscribers, Facebook will never be able to find the common pattern. Probably they will only recognize that they all like Coca-Cola, for example. The other problem is what kind of business you are operating. There are businesses where the patterns are very easy to spot. We had a customer, they were selling tattoos, and for Facebook it was super simple to understand the common pattern and provide them 1 million, 2 million users to target that like tattoos. And that worked extremely well for them. On the other side, if I create a lookalike audience out of Adespresso, small, medium businesses, different industries, different markets, different company sizes, it's just too many differences. It's very tough for Facebook to understand the common pattern. Sometimes we speak with the CEO of the startup. Sometimes we speak with the last account manager in a huge corporation. So that doesn't work very well for us. Finally, latest addition to the Facebook custom audiences family is website custom audiences. You don't need to have a user email. You just need to place a small targeting pixel on your website. And then you'll be able to do retargeting. You'll be able to tell Facebook, hey, I want to target my advertising to everyone who saw my pricing page. That shows that they are interested. I want to show them more advertising. And of course, you can also create lookalike audiences out of everyone that visits your website or that visits specific pages. Some ideas of what you could do with custom audiences. So you have a huge newsletter. We have probably now 35,000 people in our newsletter. We can target them. We can send an ad specific for them. Hey, thank you for subscribing to our newsletter. We hope you enjoyed our content. We have a 5% discount if you subscribe now to Adespresso. That's going to be pretty effective. Even better, you can target shopping cart abandonment. With website custom audiences, you can target anyone that saw the checkout page, so they started the purchase process, but they never saw the thank you page. So at some point, they were distracted and they didn't buy your product. These ads are very specific. You are targeting people that had an interaction with you. Make them personal, make them funny, please. Last week, I saw a retargeting ad from Walmart. They were showing me a product that they had seen an hour before, and all the ad said was Walmart. So I think you can find a better copy, especially because you know that I'm interested in that product. So make it funny, make it personal. For example, you could write, hey, did life get in the way? We noticed that you didn't complete this purchase. Here's a 5% discount on us if you complete it now, or we are going to pay you free shipping, whatever you want. If you add an incentive like a coupon or a discount, it's going to work even better. You can also exclude custom audiences. If you are a subscription business like Adespresso, once you are subscribed, there is nothing more that we can sell you. So we exclude a custom audience with all our customers from our targeting. You can create lookalike audiences from your customers. So send Facebook a list of customers, ask them for people very similar. And finally, this is pretty nice. Let's say that you have a very popular website and you just launch your mobile application. You could create an advertising campaign just to users on mobile on their iPhone that send directly to the iTunes store to buy your application and tell them, hey, we know that you like our website, that you enjoy our content. Now you can access them even easier with our application. Overall, when you're using custom audiences, you can expect performances probably 5, 10 times better than the average campaign. It's like cold calling someone during the dinner. Hey, would you like to switch from T-Mobile to Verizon? And probably they are going to hang up on your face. Or call with someone. Hey, we spoke yesterday when you entered the shop. I wanted to tell you that there was a price drop and the product is now cheaper. Why don't you buy it now? It's much, much more effective. Key metrics that you have to check. So when everyone started advertising, everyone was caring about clicks. So I want more clicks to my website. Then people realized that they wanted business. They didn't want clicks. So they started tracking the cost per conversion. How much I'm paying to acquire a new customer. This is the slide. At some point when Facebook was really, really successful, everyone went crazy. And for some reason, they forgot they care about businesses, about making money. And everyone started advertising to get more likes. Oh, I want 2 million likes on my Facebook pages. The truth is that you don't care about likes. Nowadays, probably you are going to reach less than 1% of people that like your page. So that's not really something that you want to optimize for. And finally, as we said before, you can track with Facebook not only conversion, but you can tell Facebook, hey, this conversion for me is worth $20. So the overall metric that you should try to optimize for is the ROI. How many dollars are you making out of every dollar in Facebook advertising that you are spending? A couple more metrics that could be useful for you. Click-through rate and conversion rate. How many people click on your ads after watching them? How many people convert on your landing page after checking the landing page? These metrics are useful because they help you understand the low-hanging fruit. If you have a very good click-through rate, but the conversion rate is horrible, it doesn't make sense to spend time optimizing your advertising. You should focus on your landing page. On the other side, if you are converting 80% of the visitors of your landing page, but you are not able to have enough people to click and see the landing page, you probably want to do more experiments, more optimization on your advertising. Frequency is another important metric. The frequency in Facebook advertising tells you, on average, how many people, how many times a unique user has seen your ad. And the frequency is important because when the frequency reaches a value of 4, 5, it means that I have seen your ad 5 times. And think about it. After 5 times, probably, either I've clicked on your ad, or I don't care about your product, or the ad is not right for me, it's not making me click. So when the frequency starts to reach 4, 5, what I recommend usually is either you try to refresh your advertising, you try a totally different value proposition, or you just say, okay, I've saturated this audience. People 18, 25 in San Francisco who likes at Espresso, they already saw my ad. I have to find another audience to target. Just one quick tip on how to run experiments on Facebook advertising. Now, I'm sure all of you have read at least one article that told you we changed the color of our call to action and we improved our conversion rate by 128%. This is the common article that gets published on all marketing blogs. The reality is that usually it's bullshit. They either made up the number or probably their designer was colorblind and their call to action was blue font on blue background, so people could not read it. But actually, my suggestion is always start with broad experiments. Don't try fine-tuning that single word or the call to action color. Try very different variations. For example, one that I always like to do is using a picture compared to an illustration. And after seeing probably 20, 30 millions of Facebook advertising, I would have never guessed that the illustration would have won. But actually it did. And the improvement was huge. And again, we talked about this in the design. The emptiness. The emptiness is attracting the user attention on the call to action. That's why this ad, even if it's not that beautiful, performed very well. But start with broad experiments. Don't start testing. I see this all the time with our users. They start testing Harvard versus Stanford students. That's not going to make a huge difference. Start testing male versus female, young people versus old people, Italy versus United States. once you have a benchmark, once you have made the broad experiment, then you know, okay, this picture is the winner. Okay, males are the winner. And then you can start fine-tuning. So you have a winning ad, then you can fine-tune it. You can test if a green call to action will be better than the white one. And actually, it is better than the white one, but it's a 13% improvement. It's not a 200% improvement. So you can start doing some tests, but start with broad experiments. OK. So let's say that you have already tried all of these, but you are not generating sales on Facebook advertising. It can happen. There is actually no such channel that works for everyone. Probably if you are selling pipes for oil refinery, Facebook advertising is not the right place to find the rich Arab guy that is building his oil refinery. But on the other side, I can assure you, I'm confident that probably 80%, 90% of the businesses can achieve success on Facebook advertising. No matter if you are business to consumer, business to business, you can succeed with Facebook advertising. You need to understand what's the best way to convince the user to buy your product. And what we saw very often, if you have a B2B product, if you have a product that is very expensive, maybe you are selling a 20,000 leather coach that is imported from Europe. You can sell it, but of course it's not an easy sell. It's not like I'm seeing an ad on my newsfeed. Hey, why don't you buy a $20,000 coach? And hell yes, let me click and buy it. Here's my credit card. You need to convince me. So probably, if you are B2B, if you have a tough product, if your product requires trust, for example, to try Adespresso, you have to give us permission to manage your Facebook advertising. That requires a certain level of trust before you actually start testing Adespresso. What we did was moving higher in the funnel. Instead of advertising, hey, why don't you try Adespresso? Why don't you buy our Facebook Ads Manager? We moved higher in the funnel. We stopped advertising Adespresso. We just tried to generate leads. Hey, we have this free ebook on custom audiences. If you like Facebook advertising, you should read it. It's totally free. We only want your email, for example, or your email and some more information. This is actually probably 50, 100% cheaper to get someone to download something that is valuable for them for free rather than having them sign up to your product or completing a purchase. And you start engaging the users. You start building a relationship with them. So they download the ebook. They find it valuable. After a couple of days, we do a follow-on advertising, and we tell them, hey, we have a new amazing blog post on our blog. Why don't you come check it out? After 5 days, hey, we have these amazing free tools. It's totally free on the website. It generates infographics like report for you out of the advertising. They do that, and after a week, after 2 weeks, we tell them, hey, did you like all the freebies that we sent your ways? You know that actually we also have an amazing Facebook advertising manager that you should try because it was made exactly to implement all the tricks on Facebook ads that we explained you in this week. So what you will see happen usually is two things. You will get the overall purchase, the overall sign up at a much cheaper price rather than advertising directly for buying the product. And you will get better customers. Because if I advertise directly, hey, sign up to Adespresso, maybe they are going to convert, but they don't know us, they don't trust us. They sign up, they don't even start the trial, or they do a couple of steps and then they forget about it. The other problem is they start using the tool, but they are too early in the funnel. They don't understand the value of split testing. They don't understand how to test. They don't understand the value of Adespresso. On the other side, going higher in the funnel, trying to do lead generation, providing them valuable content, when they start their trial, they recognize us as thought leader in the industry. So they trust us. They start immediately the trial. And two, they already acquired through our content the skills that they need to get the most out of Facebook advertising. And this worked for us, but it worked for everyone. I was talking also with Ren Fishkin from Moz. They saw the same thing on Moz. People that were exposed to content, to lead magnet, etc., before signing up to the tool were much more valuable, had a much higher lifetime value on their platform. So that's it. I hope it was useful as an introduction to Facebook advertising. If you have any question, just go ahead.
So on your site, can you explain how that works?
Sure.
acumen somebody needs, etc.
So Facebook conversion pixel has been my nightmare for the last month. Until 2 months ago, Facebook pixel was like any other pixel. So you will tell Facebook, hey, I would like to track sales. Facebook will give you a JavaScript code that you have to insert in your thank you page. Within the JavaScript code, there was a value. And you will just write the price of the ticket, for example. So it was pretty easy with every tool, every commerce store, to just add the value of the ticket in the conversion pixel. And even if you didn't want to track the price because it was too complex, you would have just to do a cut and paste of that pixel in that page. So it was pretty simple. Now they actually made it even more simple, but they changed everything. So instead of having a tracking code for every conversion that you have, now they give you a single pixel. It's a pixel to rule them all. You place that pixel on every page of that website. And that pixel is going to work both for tracking conversions and for website custom audience, which we talk about. So you just install one pixel, and that will be used for everything. Then, in any page that you want, with one more line of JavaScript, you can trigger an event. You can say, hey, I had this conversion. This was the value of my conversion. And it's just one line of JavaScript, so it's super simple. Facebook will give you all the direction. The other nice thing that they just introduced last week is once you have a pixel, you can dynamically create conversion without doing anything because you already have a pixel everywhere. So you can go on Facebook and say, hey, I want to track a new conversion. I want to track when people download one of our ebook. And all you have to say to Facebook is, my thank you page, the page that users visit after downloading the ebook is /ebook thank you. So once you have that pixel in place, you don't have to do anything. You can change your website, you can add pages, you can add lead magnet. All you have to do is tell Facebook the URL where the conversion happened, and they will start tracking it immediately. And I would expect that in a couple of months, what we can expect to see from Facebook is that you'll be able to get the conversion even from before you created the event. So since they are tracking everything, you'll be able to say, hey, I want to track ebook download, and they will know already that in the last 2 months, people convert. So that's much more useful. And overall, I suggest you to track as many conversions as possible, because that's, that's going to give you a much better idea over what's really happening in your campaign. For example, when I advertise at Espresso, I'm always tracking at least 3 pixels. When the users sign up to a trial, when they convert to paid subscribers, and if they download an ebook. Because I know that I will send traffic to my landing page, and I know that some users won't subscribe, but they will browse the website and they will download an ebook. The same the other way. I will send people to download an ebook. I know that some people will subscribe to a trial. I want to understand how my campaign is really performing, and the more conversions, the more data point I have, the better it is. To give you an example related to the countries we were talking about, we noticed that we had some countries where we could get ebooks at a very, very cheap price. So emails, lead generation, it was super cheap. But tracking all of our funnels, so tracking also sign up, paid subscription, etc., we saw that actually, even if it was cheaper, it was not worth for us to advertise in many of those countries, because we were getting emails, we were getting traffic, but users then were not subscribing to the trial. Or they were subscribing to a trial, but the US dollar price point was too high for their economy, so they will not convert to paid subscribers. So track as many conversions as you can, and with this new conversion pixel, it's super simple. In 2 seconds, you can create all the conversions that you want, and they are going to be automatically tracked on all your Facebook campaigns. You want the conversion one. So what Facebook will show you there is only the conversion that you have created.
If you're doing a conversion campaign.
Sorry?
If you're doing a conversion campaign.
They will ask you, they will only give you a conversion. But this is a very important point, because Facebook is asking you what's your main conversion for a reason. One, because when you are bidding, when you are telling Facebook how much you are willing to pay, the price is referring to what's your target price for that conversion. So you should know how much you're willing to spend for the conversion that you selected. 2, Facebook right now is doing a lot of algorithmic optimizations on all the delivery of your advertising. So when you are creating a campaign and you are telling Facebook, hey, this is my conversion, what usually happens in the background is that Facebook will try to optimize the delivery of your advertising and show your ads to people that are more likely to convert. So after a while, Facebook will say, hey, I have found a pattern. Everyone that is converting on your website is older than 40 years old, for example, or they are all San Francisco Giants. They will analyze thousands of elements. This is important because in algorithmic optimization, you need data. If you ask Facebook to optimize for a pixel that is only generating 1 conversion per day, for example, probably Facebook is never going to be able to have enough data. The best practice here is that you should have 25 conversions per day for Facebook to really optimize efficiently your campaign. And this is a game of high quality but low volumes compared to very high volumes but low quality. So what you could test, you could actually create 2 campaigns. And you could have 1 campaign where you ask Facebook, hey, optimize for sales. I'm giving you few data, but very valuable. These users are exactly the ones that we want on our website. But maybe you have too few data. On the other side, you can create a campaign where you ask Facebook, hey, optimize for people that add the product to the cart, or that check my pricing page, for example. So much more users, much more data that you are providing to Facebook, but lower quality because they are not actually users that paid. But this is something that you should try because we saw huge improvements, huge lifts in performances when people try to optimize for pixels higher in the funnel. So conversion that happen more often and that helped Facebook better understand the kind of customers, the kind of users that you wanted on your website. Anyone else?
How long do you typically shoot? So we actually are using you guys a few months ago. But how long should we run the campaigns for before?
Overall, I will base that on how many conversions you are generating. So if you're running 100 experiments, if you stick to the math and you do the statistical relevancy formula, probably it will take you a couple of years to have relevant data. But I would say once you have between 10 and 50 conversions for each experiment that you are running, that's reliable enough. You should also keep in mind that sometimes Facebook just likes something. Even if it's not the best one, if you have many ads, sometimes Facebook say, okay, I really like this ad, and if they like it, they are going to make it cheaper. So on one side, you have a problem of understanding the accuracy of the data, but on the other side, you have a fact. You have a fact that Facebook is giving you that for cheaper. So even if the experiment is not relevant 100%, it's still good to keep that running just because it's the cheapest one. Facebook changes every day. The frequency is another big problem when you are running an experiment. When you are testing a landing page, it's much easier because you can expect to receive mainly unique users. But when you're running a split test on Facebook, you could also be split testing 2 audiences that are very different. One maybe is very small, the other is very big. So if you get the data soon enough, the data is pretty relevant. But if you wait, you will end up with one experiment still has a frequency of 1, so it's performing super well. But the other audience, the one that was very small, already reached a frequency of 6. So you have saturated the audience, and from that point on, you are going to have terrible performances over there. So there is no one-size-fits-all answer for that. Usually I try to have at least 10 conversions for each experiment, and then it really depends on your price point. If you are selling $200 product, maybe with 5, 10, you are totally fine. If you want to optimize to analyze website click on a BuzzFeed-like website where you receive 10,000 clicks per day, probably you need to do 100, 1,000 clicks before the relevant has some level of reliability.
And for lookalike audience, so when we start, so we got all of our customers, we uploaded, not the email. We narrow it down because we did narrow it down a lot. Like people do like this brand and our lookalike to this.
It depends on the volume. I mean, if you have 100,000 customers, then you can easily narrow it down and create 5 custom audiences, people that bought shoes, people that bought t-shirt, people that bought jeans. So that makes totally sense. But if narrowing down the custom audiences for the lookalike makes you end up with a custom audience that has 100 users, 200 users, probably that's not enough data point for Facebook to really optimize your campaign. One thing that you could try is also trying to understand the overlapping. So, okay, I've created 2 lookalike audiences from 2 different custom audiences. Are they really different, or am I targeting the same users? And you can do this pretty easily. When you create a fake campaign, when you are in the targeting, you add the first lookalike audience, and Facebook will tell you, okay, you are reaching 1 million users. Then you add the second lookalike audience, the one for jeans instead of t-shirts, for example. And Facebook will tell you, hey, you are now targeting 1.1 million users. If that's the case, it means that 900,000 users are basically the same in the 2 lookalike audiences. So it's probably not even worth separating them because you are targeting the same people. But I would say I will start creating lookalike audience, narrow lookalike audiences if you have at least 500, 1,000 users in each one. The bigger, the better. 5,000 is probably even better. Okay? Any other questions? Okay. Awesome. Thank you, guys. And if you have any other questions, that's my Twitter handle, founders@adespresso.com or massimo@adespresso.com. Just reach out via email whenever you want. Always happy to help our 500 startup company. Okay. Ciao, ciao.